good evening, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. But here on our monthly RayeQueen's Remedies, and all of this holistic corner is here with us. Welcome back.
Hello. Peace and blessings to everyone. Light and love.
I know it's in this special month to go along with us with color, people of color. So right there, I tell you what I want to add out to the audience. Don't you think this will be unique for them to do since it's the Black Culture History Month, we're gonna say. I think it would behoove our audience or whoever watches this tonight. I think you need to tip on to this website. Do yourself a favor. If you want to talk about Black history, to learn some ancestral culture, you want to learn some cultural development in your African American history, I want you to go right to this website. You know what? I want you to take a nice piece of ink pen and paper and write it down, because you will learn something. Grow this year. Talk about growing this year. You can grow with taking yourself and excel here at HPOC University, which I am glad to be a part of. And I am so happy to be a part of this. I'm like, the stars, the universe aligned with everything. The stars and the universe aligned with everything. So yes. But tonight we're going to be talking about mudras. So if you never heard of it, you never talked about it, but I can tell you something. As we do here on Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, we try to find things to uplift your mind, your body, and your spirit. So I know a lot of stuff is new that I'll be bringing up that we never heard, but it's all about educating. That's one of the things I want to do is educate. Educate for the cause of wellness, mind, body, and soul. And right here with my sister here, Dr. RayeQueen, she's going to be here tonight telling us what mudras are, giving us a demonstration, and it's going to be very helpful to you. So Dr. K, again, thank you. Welcome back here this month.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I always love being here. My sister.
Looking for a whole lot of stuff going on this year. A whole lot of stuff that's going to be going on this year with us. So whole lot that's going to be going on. So Dr. K, since we're going to be talking about the mudras, now I do know about them. But can you explain to the audience what they are? And there are some principles. It's just like when we're doing some steps with meditation, there are certain principles. If you know anything about Buddhism, you know there are certain principles that, they take upon. But for mudras, can you explain to the audience what they are?
Okay. So mudras, and today we're talking specifically about hand mudras. That way I can give some demonstrations as we go on. But mudras are certain formations. There's certain gestures you can make with your hands that allow you to seal in your energy, which allows your body to recycle and use the energy in a productive way. When you say you're tired or you're fatigued, or when you get headaches or any type of disease, it's because you're losing your energy. Your energy is not circulating the way it should be. So mudras help to combat that by sealing in the energy. And it's very biological. So it's connected to the brain and the nervous system and the spinal cord. So to simplify it, what happens is your brain wants to send out messages to the rest of your body, right? And so it uses neurons to do that. Neurons are messengers, and they send messages throughout your whole body, down your spinal cord, right? And down your arms and to your hands, and tell the nerves connected to these neurons what the message is. So say you're tired, you're stressed out at work, and you're getting a headache. Your brain says, I'm tired, I'm sick of this job, you're going to have a headache right now. Your brain says, all right, give this person a headache. And then all this happens with the neurons and the nerves and all that. But if you know how to practice mudras, you can say no by holding your hands in a certain formation and applying ever so slight pressure. You can send that message back through the nerves to the neurons to the brain to say, nope, nope, I don't want that headache. I don't want a headache. Don't do that, brain. And so it's a way we can take control of our health. A very ancient, scientifically backed method to take control of our health.
And I know what you're talking about, because I'm gonna tell you, I actually with Ki Chong, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing this where he says to start 9 times doing your hands together when you get up in the morning to get that energy flow moving. So it's all about, because those are those meridians. Again, we're talking about it. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to educate you.
Yeah.
And I have to do my soapbox talk. We know that a lot of people don't practice certain things because of certain religions, but we're here talking about the scientific. And I can say, as being someone who has studied anatomy and physiology, even if you go to a chiropractor, that's what they're telling you too, basically. Your meridians, those points, they know where to pressure.
That's
And
right.
yeah, I mean, and then what he's using, the hand most of the time. So those are, we're just trying to give you some practices that you can use as interventions.
And while we're on that topic, because I know Christians come at me a lot. Not that I'm not a Christian, but they come at me a lot. And praying is a mudra. Praying is a mudra. The very act of applying your fingertips together sends messages to those nerves that I was just talking about, and it connects to the neurons back to the brain, and it creates a calming effect. That is the reason why people pray this way. It's because it allows you to relax and open up your spirit and your mind and your heart to God. That's a mudra. It's a mudra.
Thank you for that clarification. See, I told you, I have folks who are in the same realm, because I listened to one person tell me one time, oh, you're in that metaphysical stuff. No, because metaphysical, it's a science.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually brings you back to, it tells you where different things are. Now it's up to you how you want to formate it. But these are things that the science are behind it, and it's physical for your mental, all of that. So it all works together. Like we said, if one thing is out of line, the rest is going to be out of line, because that's going to pour into the rest of your cells. You feeling some type of way and different that. But this is why we're here, to educate the community on different things.
Exactly.
Yeah. So speaking of the mudras, and like you're saying, you're going to more focus on the hand mudras. Now there's another type that you can do with your bodies and all that type of stuff, but that takes practice. And like that takes practice. But with the hand mudras, like you said, now there are 5 elements. Can you go over what those 5 elements are, and tell the audience, the significance of it?
Okay, so most of us are already familiar with the elements. Excuse me. The 5 elements. So we have earth, of course, which is our physical beings. We have water, which represents the liquid in our bodies, right? We have fire, which represents the heat, bodily heat, right? We have wind. We've all heard about these elements before, right? And the wind represents our breath, the science of breath. And then we have space or consciousness, right? That's the 5th one. And so each finger on our hand represents one of those different elements. And that's how we're able to tap into our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, right? So our thumb represents fire. So anytime you use your thumb, you're activating the fire element in your body. The index finger represents wind. This is the wind finger, your index finger, okay? And then your middle finger represents space or consciousness, right? And then your ring finger represents earth, okay? And then your pinky finger or little finger, whatever we call that these days, represents water. So that's how you can identify the different 5 elements on your hand. And in traditional Chinese medicine, of course, in ancient Kemetic medicine, we identify different states of dis-ease, mental or physical, as it is attached to one of the elements, right? It's just like if you catch a cold, the reason we call it a cold, that's because of an ancient reference. Our body is losing heat. And so you have to reactivate that heat in order to combat the cold. And so that's how you learn through study and practice how to identify the different elements as it relates to physical symptoms in the body.
So just for instance, where you say the thumb is fire. So if you need a little bit of heat, start pressing on them thumbs.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you, if you're cold a lot, there's a mudra you can do for that. People say I'm always cold. There's definitely a mudra you can do for that.
See?
And I'll show it to you later on. We'll get into that.
So yeah, she's giving out some good tips. So if people talk about the fire, start tipping on those thumbs if you need some fire. That's enlightening, some fire, with the consciousness, that middle finger, like you said, the consciousness. If you need some intuition, you're thinking on why do you think when people do like this? See, everything is symbolized.
Yeah.
Everything is symbolized.
Everything
is symbolized. And this is just giving you some teaching references here. Everything is symbolized. When you see somebody doing like this, that's because they're trying to get, and that's that consciousness, trying to get something from it. So those are that. So you know what? We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk more about the mudras. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where we are today with RayeQueen's Holistic Health and Remedy Roots and Remedies Corner for this month. For this month, as we said earlier, you want to grab some history, you want to do some cultural stuff for this month. I would say, I know it was something else that you told me too, Dr. K. Maybe we can do a little special. For those who inbox me, you get a little special. If you go to the website and you feel like you want to take a little class, that's what we can offer. We can offer you a little special for this month. If you feel like you want to go and get some more of ancestral background, some more history, because it's been ripped from the books. It's been ripped from the books. But I will guarantee you that you will have some enlightening everything around. Well, I mean, I've taken some classes here, and it's just I've been looking for this, and it fell right to me. I've been looking for this, and it is a pleasure. I never thought about it in another sense in a way, but I will tell you, this month we can offer a little special for you. That's what we can do for you.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, we can offer a little special for you. Yes. So we were talking about the mudras, and we talked about the 5 elements, what it is, how they work, and again, if you want this thumb, you want some fire, start pressing on these thumbs. Start getting yourself some fire. You want a little bit of more fresh wind. What we're going to do. So she already gave you these, but for now we're going to talk about the theory behind it. So can you give us a little clarification on the theory behind the mudras?
Well, it taps back into the holistic health, right? We are not just physical beings, right? We're energetic beings, and our energetic health has to be optimal, just like our physical health has to be optimal. One always affects the other. So every thought, every emotion you have becomes a chemical reality in the bloodstream. Anytime you think, every single thought you have, some type of a chemical is being released into the bloodstream, which can affect your health, right? So on an energetic level, if you're mad or angry or jealous or whatever type of negative emotion you have, you're producing a hormone that correlates with that. Okay. That hormone has to be able to travel freely throughout the physical body and the energetic body, right? And if it doesn't, then it becomes stagnant, it becomes blocked, and you become sick. It becomes dis-ease. And so the science behind it, and let me just say that mudra, the term mudra is a Vedic Indian term, right? And anybody who knows me for longer than 5 minutes knows that I preach about how our healing practices have been colonized and criminalized. You will see that we did mudras in ancient Kemet, right? If you look at the hieroglyphics on any of the walls, they're all doing some type of a hand mudra, a body mudra, some type of a mudra. Now, we didn't call it mudras. As far as my research has taught me so far, we just called it seals because we sealed in our bodies. Now, I'm still researching the language around it, but for now, I refer to them as seals, but most people know them as mudras, so I say that just for communication's sake. So anyway, we did this a long time ago. Our ancestors passed this information along to other cultures who have since taken it and really, really developed it, and they practice it and incorporate it into their daily lives the same way that you and I should be doing it, right? So the theory behind it is just that energy must flow freely, and we lose energy from our fingers and from our feet and from the top of our heads. And so there are certain things we can do to those aspects of our body to retain, to seal in that energy. And that's the science behind it.
See, and it's very important. You said something, because you do, when you look at the hieroglyphics, you either see the hands up, or you even see them up, or you see them like this, you know, and again, that goes, now they will say that ancient Babylon's, you know, Chedillion times and all those different times, and they tell you about how these different break down to the different, and you're right, everything did come from that Egyptian side of everything where it is today. Well, to the different other cultures and other practices it is. So, yeah. So we're now to the part where we talked about how it can help your mental, the mainstream, your physical, your mental, and your spiritual. But we know that they are, again, if any one of those things are outlined, it's not in line. Put it that way. It's not in alignment. We know that can knock off everything else. So give us the pleasure. See, look, you're even getting some practices where tonight she's going to show us with her hands, because again, this is the hand mudras that we're talking about. She's going to give us some practices, just for, like we say, like the physical. Let's start off with the physical.
Okay, so let's do it. So what I'll do is I'll cover the chakra mudras, and they correlate with different physical symptoms, right? And understand that even when you're treating physical, you're treating holistically. So, and I use the word chakra very loosely because that's not our original language. We call them arushats, or energy centers, and our melanin centers are what we refer to them as. But anyway, let me not go down that rabbit hole.
So, we have to do that another time.
Yeah, we'll do that another
time. That's a workshop. That's a workshop.
So I'm going to show you a mudra that correlates with an energy center that's in our lower bellies at the very base of our pelvic. And it's good for a lot of physical issues like fatigue, lower back pain is a good one, blood disorders, menstrual issues. If you're experiencing any of those, then this mudra will help you. And how you do it is you take your ring finger and put it to your thumb, and then put your pinky to your thumb, and then put your ring finger on top of it. And then your other two fingers should be extended like this. They're sticking straight up, right? So that's what it looks like. And if you hold that and apply pressure, again, you want to activate the meridians, right? You want the energy to flow. So you apply slight pressure to your pinky where you're pressing, and you just hold that. And the typical time to hold it is about 1 to 5 minutes. But that's not a hard and fast rule. If you can just do it 30 seconds at a time, while you're at work or while you're driving at a stoplight, whenever you can get it in, is going to benefit you. But if you can hold it up to 5 minutes, it might be a little bit more effective, right? So this again is a root chakra mudra or seal that's good for those elements I talked about. It's also good for, you want to talk about focus. If you're having a hard time focusing at work, if you want to build some confidence, that's a good one to hold as well. Okay. And then we have the sacral one, or what we call sacred in Kemetic culture, not the sacral, but most people refer to it as the sacral. You want to take your right hand on the bottom and your left hand on top. Now remember, left hand is always a receiving hand. So whenever you have hands that go one on top of the other, you want the left on top. And then you apply pressure to your two thumbs. Okay? To your two thumbs. Now, emotionally, this is good for creativity. Again, this is really good for confidence. It's also good if you have for women's health. If women are experiencing multiple miscarriages, you can't seem to hold a baby. As you notice, it looks like you're holding a baby the way you would cradle a baby, right? So it's good for women. It's good for constipation. It's good for infertility as well. Low blood sugar, anemia. If you're anemic, I can't get it out. This is a good mudra to hold for that. And also for people who have a hard time, people who get up multiple times throughout the night to use the bathroom, frequent urination, this is good to do right before you go to bed to help to control that. Okay. And then what's next? So the solar plexus, if you know anything about that, I'll stop referring to them as chakras, but that is the solar plexus. And for this one, you take the middle finger and the pinky finger to the thumb. The middle finger and the pinky finger to the thumb, right? This is good for willpower. If you're trying to stop smoking or get off sugar, you want to kick whatever habit you have, it's good for willpower. And physically, it's good for the stomach, any type of digestion issues, if you have a poor appetite, if you're overeating, if you feel cold. Remember, we talked about feeling cold all the time. If you apply that one, it's good for that. Diabetes and middle back problems. The first one I told you is good for lower back problems. This one's good for middle back problems. Okay. And then the throat chakra, which is where the heart. You apply the pinky and the thumb together, just like that. Bring your wrists together and keep your fingers spread wide open. Okay. This is good for the heart chakra. And in the Kemetic culture, we have 3 heart chakras. Indian culture only teaches about 1. There are actually 3 of them. This is good for depression. This is good for aging. If you sit like this twice a day for 5 minutes, watch your skin bounce back. Watch some of those wrinkles fall away. It's really, really good for aging. It's probably why Black people age so well, because we pray a lot. So we're almost in that formation. Asthma, allergies, any respiratory issues. We're battling these COVID-19 and the cold, the flu's going around. Anything respiratory is good for that. Influenza, bronchitis, whatever. And allergies, it's good for that. Okay, and it resonates with the heart chakra. The next one is the throat chakra. If you put your hands together, first of all, let me say, after you fold your hands, you're going to want your left hand, the thumb, and the index finger to touch. Okay, so after you put it together, make sure the thumb and the index finger are touching. And then put your hands down, just like a castle, little steeple, whatever we call it, right? This is good for throat issues, any type of laryngitis or sore throat, thyroid issues. If you have neck pain, this one's good for headaches too, really good for headaches. I get headaches a lot because I'm overthinking too much. So I'll do this pose. And just a side note, if you use some aromatherapy in conjunction with your mudras, it just optimizes, it increases the efficacy, right? Headaches, tinnitus, if you have the ringing in your ear. I have a lot of clients who have that lately. TMJ, ear problems. It's all good for that. Okay. And then first eye, or they call it third eye. I'm sorry, I have to always check myself. We call it in ancient Africa, we call it first eye. They refer to it as the third eye. But you put your middle finger together and put the rest of your fingers down. Ouch. And then you have your thumbs touching, like a little steeple. Oof, my finger cramped up.
Mhm.
Just like that. Okay, that's the first eye one. That's good for headaches, particularly migraines. I mean, I showed you another one that was good for headaches. That one's particularly good for migraines and nose problems, nose and eye problems. So any type of nasal, sinus problems, any type of vision issues, people who might run the risk of having strokes, that's a good mudra for them. Any type of brain problems, that's good for that. And then the last one is the crown. And you just put all your fingers down except the pointer finger, index finger, and the thumb. And this one, your thumb should be pointing down, facing down. I don't know if you can see that. But you hold your hands like that. Oops. And make sure your thumb is pointing down. Okay. So it might make your hands tilt a little bit, right? This is good for the brain. This is good for anxiety. Anybody who suffers from anxiety, if you're about to go into a situation and you're very nervous, if you hold this position for 5 minutes, it will calm that down. Hemorrhaging, brain hemorrhaging, anything with the brain is good for that. So those are some very quick and easy mudras you can do to help your physical and mental health.
See, I told you guys you're gonna learn something new today. And hey, way to start off the month with learning some of our ancient type of ancestral stuff that we actually did as a people. Again, we know that things have happened along the way, but getting back to the roots of it, not the root, as they say, the rooty toot tooty, but the rooty toot tooty. I feel as though this is, I go back to that, again, about holistic stuff. I think we're the inventors of the holistic stuff.
We are.
We're the inventors of the holistic stuff. And that's why we see so much trouble with it. But I see there's a whole new line of awakening of people just awakening up from all over the place. Dr. Karen, someone who contacted me, she actually contacted me from watching our show, your segment last month, and she actually signed up for HPOP.
Nice.
Yeah, she's actually signed up for HPOP. And actually, I met her today, and she bought me a whole jar of herbs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, some elderberries and some hibiscus and some candle oil with lavender.
Love it. I love it. I love how our network is just growing and expanding and affecting change.
She bought me and she's actually thinking about moving here on the shore. She's in the Baltimore area.
Oh,
but she's actually thinking about moving here on the shore.
Okay.
Yeah, she has an amazing story. Actually, yeah, she has an amazing story. She has a real amazing story about how she had Crohn's disease.
Oh.
And how she started following, and she actually did a networking with one of Dr. Sebi's cooks.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And she even in her child's daycare, they have got them eating, holistically.
Good. I mean, there's so many stories out there of people who took a leap of faith and decided to try these holistic remedies that you and I know have worked since forever. But because America has done such a good job of making us believe our practices aren't valid, we stayed away from them for so long. But if you listen to some of the students at the university, some of the people I work with, there are so many stories of people who went holistic and natural, and they now no longer have MS. They now no longer have Crohn's disease. They now no longer, because they decided to go natural.
Right.
And the thing about medication is we're over medicating ourselves. And this Western approach of healing ourselves is void of the spiritual component. It's void of the energetic component. And again, like I said earlier, you can't heal one without healing them all. So if you're just taking some type of appeal for your headache or for your dis-ease, it's not addressing the energetic level and the emotional level that needs to be addressed for true healing to happen. So
Right.
I'm so happy about that.
And we put this disclaimer: we're not telling you not to take your medicine because
Mhm.
you have to, but this is just something we found as working as interventions for that because again, I love the fact. Can I share something from this that I've learned
Okay.
since I've been taking the courses too? And we're not saying this as being all pro-black, and we're just trying to educate our community because again we're falling short. Our communities are the one with the highest disparities.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
highest disparities. I did it through the Minority Outreach Technical Assistance Program, MOTA. That's why they have it here in the state of Maryland. The minority. I learned this. All the people of color. Different.
Mm-hmm.
There's a disparity in it, and one of the facts that I've learned, when I first entered into the program, one of the things that I love the fact that you brought out is you're right. You want to heal, but you got to heal the whole self.
Mm-hmm.
When you say the word holistically, it's the W
Right.
word, not the H. But
Mm-hmm.
you also brought about our DNA is the makeup because we are blood people.
Mm-hmm.
I just had this conversation the other day because I often look at this as we're hated so much because of the color. But in most inventions or different types of diseases, it was our blood that found the the cures.
That part. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. that's
That
because of
part,
that melanated component. That
the
melanin is
melanated
the chemical key
component,
to life, and it's in our bloodstream.
it's in our bloodstream. And I
Yeah.
love the fact that I never looked at it that way until I started studying, where it said because we are blood, everything happens to every issue that we have health wise. It is with the blood sugar, blood pressure,
Right. Right.
all blood type of diseases.
Yeah.
But again, emotions, people don't think that these emotions can actually generate sickness. So this is all we're here at HPOC. Again, I will tell you, go grab yourself some information on this. Um, it'll help our culture. It'll help your community.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say, as of month, that is a holistic chapter here
Yay.
in Fallersburg, Maryland. I am so happy. So there's more to come. So yeah, so I am so happy that there is a chapter of HPOC here in the state of Maryland. And we're going to connect with my sister up in Baltimore for some
Mm-hmm.
other stuff. But hey, if you all about wellness, if you're all about sharing about your community and empowering your community, because we do have a mission behind the standards holistically. If you are that type of person, I'm gonna screen you because this is something serious to me. So
Yeah.
this is something serious. So just
Mm-hmm.
don't be joining an organization just to be joining an organization. We're not gonna just have an organization stop drop just to add. We're gonna do some work because
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of this information. I'm looking to do a acupuncture clinic. That I tell you, that came on my to get some acupuncturists here to do some acupuncture clinics doing the five
Nice.
NPs. So yeah. So it's very limited for our people of color who do holistic health. So I'm all about bringing the training. HPOC is here. So
Yeah,
hey,
baby. Be there, baby.
we can have a class to get it done. We can pull in the facilitators to get it done. Because you think about it, I often go back to it when the Black Panthers was out there, and not to say, you know, They made it seem like, but you never knew that all the good they did. This is how the WIC program started. I'm gonna go back to some history since we're talking about African American History Month.
Mm-hmm.
These folks actually went and got trained. The Asian culture asked them to come over to train to help. This is how this sickle cell actually got found, and this is how it was helping with some interventions with through our peak. Because again, who does sickle cell affect?
Mm-hmm.
Bloodborne people. So that just go to tell you these typical things that can help our communities. So be looking out when Michelle posts out, hey, we have an acupuncture clinic. I want to see some folks there. You hear a lot of people all the time. I got arthritis. I can't move this hand, or my sugar's up. Whatever it is, just be liable and just get the information. That's all we ask.
Mm-hmm.
Just one or two, you can tap in. That's all we're asking. So Dr. Karen, it's almost over already. So is there anything else that you would like to leave with the audience tonight before we leave?
No, but I just want to piggyback on what you said and just be open-minded and give it a try. I mean, I think you will be amazed at the results. I've yet to meet anybody who said, okay, I'm going to give it a try, and they were dissatisfied. You always find some benefit to the holistic healing modalities. And usually what happens is you try it, it works, you like it, and then you go down the rabbit hole. Next thing you know, you're tapped into all kind of different holistic healing modalities. So start with the mudras. I mean, it's non-invasive. What can it hurt? It's not going to interfere with any medications that you're taking. It's not going to interact with any of the foods that you're eating. It doesn't take money. You can do it while you're watching your television. What does it hurt to try mudras? What does it hurt? Why would you not give it a try? If you have a headache, rather than taking some Excedrin or Tylenol, try a mudra first, just to see. And again, like she said, we're not anti-medicine. Sick people need drugs. If you are sick, child, please take your drugs. What we're trying to get you to do is heal yourself so you no longer need those drugs. So you're no longer sick. You won't have a need for them. So why not? Why? What risk? What is the risk of trying a mudra? So if you want to know more about mudras, of course, you can contact the university and or you can contact me, and I'm happy to help you with more information about it. In addition to all the programs we have, we are launching new programs next month at HPOC. So there might be something there that speaks more to you if there hasn't already been. So we're looking for that. And then we also have different networking events where you can just meet other holistic professionals of color if you're interested in learning more about holistic health. Some of our virtual networking events is a good place to start because you get to join in the conversation and meet other like-minded people. If you go to the association website, which is holisticprofessionalsofcolor.org, spelled all the way out, you'll find a list of all those events that are available to you as well. So I look forward to seeing you there.
All right. All right. Well, we appreciate you again, my sister.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to this once a month. I don't know. I might have to get you to co-host one, take over 1 month.
Don't do that. I don't have those skills like you. Thank you.
You should take over 1 month. I think the audience, you think she got it? Give me some thumbs up. No. I think she got it. I think she got it. I think she has it. You just got to build it. You got it. I know you got it.
Nope.
So, okay, audience. So, again, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. We're in this month's segment of RayeQueen's Holistic Roots and Remedies Corner. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us. Until next week, again, I have this mantra thing that I say every week, but you know what? I'm not even going to say one this week. All I'm going to do is just tell you to be encouraged and go grow into your ancestral calling. We are called to be a people of power, strength, and more power, and courage and confidence. So I say that to you tonight. Until next week, I am your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond.